from beautiful California. It is round 7 of the Drive-Thru Sim series, the Auto Club 250 at Auto Club Speedway. We're going to see cars hitting upwards of 200 miles an hour, all while drafting each other and fighting for space on this huge oval. Certainly a very fun show for us today. I'm Drive-Thru once again, starting the stream off with some pre-qualifying. We have 15 drivers fighting out for 8 spots left in the main event. So a 10-minute session, the top 8 fastest times move on into the main event, and then we're going to hold qualifying for that with all 42 cars on track at the same time. And with that, let's take a look at some of a little bit of a silly season shakeup from when we last saw you last week out in Richmond. Luke Rainey in the number 2, your Iowa race winner, not usually seen here this early in the show. He's out here in pre-qualifying because team owner Xander M has made the decision to move his charter over to the 0-2 car. So AFK Master will be guaranteed a start in the race, and Luke Rainey is going to have to make his way in based off qualifying time. Shouldn't be too much of a problem for him. We know he's one of the best in the business. A 2-time winner here in the Sim Series. And I believe one of the final 4 in the chase-offs last season. So he, as well as F1 fan, should be pretty safe to make it in. We have the 52 driven again by Nitro XP this week. He's had a few opportunities. I don't think he's made a single start. I should be fact-checking myself, considering I'm supposed to be the guy running the show. Let me actually make sure real quick. Promise you I'm professional. All right. So Nitro XP has not made a start, I don't think. Oh, he has made 1 start. He has started a race. So looking to make his 2nd start. There in that Louisiana hot sauce number 52. Oh!
They've got into each other.
Flying Ryan subscribed on Twitch. Hey, Drive-Thru.
Hey, Flying Ryan. And actually got your name kind of correct with the resub. Thank you so much. Also, welcome to the show. You got here pretty early this time. It's good to have you here, Ryan. I know you're a busy dude, but I love it whenever you pop in here. Super fun. All right, Luke Rainey, of course, sitting on top of the standings board here. We've already got a bit of a pack forming here. Drayden Zen behind his teammate David Alvarez, newly picked up this 7-Eleven sponsorship. Pretty beautiful car, I gotta say. So both of the PT Motorsports cars seem to be working with Sabretooth right now, and I think, like we saw last year at this track, the draft will come into play, especially here in pre-qualifying. There aren't that many cars out on track. If you can find a buddy and work together, you might be able to get quicker lap times, but I think the 66 is trying to get in front of the 46 right now. He's passing him through turns 3 and 4. So let's find Luke Rainey. He didn't do that. I don't think he had any draft. He's catching up to Nitro XP in the 52, but Luke Rainey set a 38.867. And his teammate, Jared Preston Plays YT, in the 1 is currently sitting in 2nd with a 38.927. And as I say that, Sabretooth just jumped himself up into 2nd place, tying Luke Rainey's lap time to the 1,000th of a second. So pretty impressive stuff from Sabretooth. We saw him trying to work his way past the 46 and the 40, and that is a great lap. Sabretooth hasn't had the greatest of success here early on in his career. Stepped back a little bit. No Compass, I think, did a couple of attempts in that car, but hasn't started a race yet. So I think a 66 will be happy just to make the show. So, leaderboard as it stands right now, the top 8, remember, are going to move on in the next session. We're already halfway through this pre-qualifying. Luke Rainey sitting on top, and Sabretooth ties his time. Then it's Jared Preston Plays YT, and Drayden Zen in the 40, who just set a quick time. Now he's going to jump in and try and get some new tires and maybe get another run out there, but he's currently sitting in 4th. Then it's F1 Fan 2751 driving the number 24 for Carnation Motorsports. Then it's Janza, David Alvarez, and Hoodlum 2002. So on the outside looking in is John Jones, and surprisingly enough, Carter Friesen is down in 10th. Not a great day so far for mechanized racing. Emmett Lashbrook sitting in 11th, VGO3 sitting down in 14th, and Power Sport Racing currently sitting 13th and 15th. At this rate, neither of them are going to qualify. Let's see if Nitro XP can use a little bit of draft here from Luke Rainey, who's currently sitting at the top of the time charts. Oh, what's up, Creative? Welcome aboard. Welcome to the show. It's a good time out here. It's a beautiful sunny day down in California. Heck of a lot warmer than it is back up in Toronto, that's for sure. So David Alvarez is up into 7th, which means Hoodlum got knocked down. So Hoodlum's sitting in 8th right now, not in a transfer position. He's going to have to, well, I was going to say he's going to have to pick it up, so he's going to throw some new tires on and go for another run. As the 43 of John Jones now pulling out of the pits to set another lap. Saw Carter Friesen in there as well. He's sitting down in 10th place. He's already won a race, though, this season, so he's qualified himself for the chase-offs. But he would like probably as much experience as possible throughout the rest of the season. 3 minutes left here in pre-qualifying. Drayden Zen still sitting up in 4th with that impressive 38.912 in what I believe is his first ever start. I'm going to have to actually check that stat as well. I know I'm doing a lot of fact checking this stream, but that's because I care. Drayden Zen. This is his very first start in the Sim Series. So a pretty impressive run. Or I guess I should say his first start. This is his first attempt at any pre-qualifying session. And he is currently sitting in 4th. He's also guaranteed a start in the next 2 races, driving the number 79 for Drive-Thru Racing Ventures. But currently in the 40, he's got to pre-qualify his way in, and he's working hard for it so far. The top 8 transfer cars still sitting the same as they did before. John Jones on the outside looking in. He is 1,000th of a second behind Hoodlum's time. And the 88 is currently on the bubble. Carter Friesen in the 33 has got to pick it up. I mean, we've seen how fast this car is. I think he's only missed 1 start so far this season. So it would be a pretty big surprise for him to not make the show. He's got a minute left in pre-qualifying, and he should have a little bit of draft here from the 08. This could be a pretty quick lap. He just got out of the pits, so this is his first flying lap since putting on some fresh tires. Hopefully Emmett Lashbrook doesn't get too much in the way. Carter Friesen getting really aggressive coming out of turn 4, and you can see the speed he's got on those fresh tires. He's looking the inside of 47 of Janza and moves himself up into 3rd place. So Carter Friesen really turned the jets on when he needed to, and that's going to knock Hoodlum out and put David Alvarez in 8th place on the bubble with 30 seconds left in the session. So Luke Rainey and Sabretooth still tied at the top. Carter Friesen only 0.06 of a second close behind them. Then it's Jared Preston Plays YT, Drayden Zen, F1 Fan, Janza, and David Alvarez. Hoodlum, John Jones, Emmett Lashbrook, Luis Rodriguez, David Don, VGO3, Nitro XP, all of them have got to pick it up. And the time just expired, so they can finish the lap that they've started. But beyond that, they will not have an opportunity to make it into the race. So let's see if anyone is in for a really, really quick lap at the end here. John Jones doesn't improve his time. He had some fresh tires, but couldn't make it work. David Don also got a fresh set on. Also doesn't improve his time. That's a 39.3. So it looks like the grid will be set. Unless Emmett Lashbrook can pull something crazy here. And he can't. So, the top 8 is set. Let me make sure I have it all down. And going home early, Hoodlum 2002, John Jones, Emmett Lashbrook, Luis Rodriguez, David Don, VGO3, and Nitro XP. So both of the Power Sport Racing Uncharted entries, they're heading home early. Both of the Mechanized Racing Uncharted entries, they're heading home early. And as Spitfire pointed out, is this the very first start for the number 40 car? I know the 46 made Daytona at the hands of Ethan Head, and last week at Richmond with David Alvarez, who's just started again, by the way, pre-qualified his second race in a row. So I think this is the first time ever PTM has all 4 cars making the show. So we're going to quickly move them on into the main roster. And let me just double check. So moving on into the show, as expected, Luke Rainey in the 2, very quick. And Xander, I'm taking advantage of this charter move to sort of guarantee, not really guarantee, but pretty much guarantee 3 cars in all the races. I believe is this Sabretooth's first start? Let me check the stats here. I think it is. He's had a lot of trouble this season. He's put some other people in that car. But this will be the first time that the 66 makes a start. So, very good job by him tying Luke Rainey at the top of the board. Carter Friesen, although it looked like he was going to be on the outside, did eventually make it into the show in 3rd place. J.R. Preston Plays YT will fill out all 4 XMRC cars, going to make the race. And then Drayden Zen, in his very first attempt in the number 40, has a pretty impressive run. Also F1 fan and Janza, who surprisingly didn't make the field at Richmond, but looks like they've got their act back together here for Auto Club. A race that he did very well in last season. And then David Alvarez in the 46. And that is the field all filled out. So now we have another 10-minute session, the main qualifying event, all the cars on the track at the same time, the fastest laps, set the order, and then we'll go racing for the Auto Club 250 here in the Drive Thru Sim Series. So as the cars head out on track, we're going to take a quick race break. Be back in about a minute. So, oh, wow, okay. Hello, people. We'll be back. Back live here at Auto Club Speedway as the first times are getting put down here in the main qualifying session. J.R. Preston Plays YT, the first one to complete a lap, but Asteroid Strike 9, the first one to get a flying lap out with a 39.4. Not fast at all, but these guys are just getting started. And we are for sure going to see some pack action, as the track is going to be really, really busy. We've got all 42 cars out trying to set quick laps. Might see some teammates trying to work together, or drivers might start tripping over each other in these packs that I know are going to be coming. Pure puts himself on top early on with a 39.2, but Jared Preston plays YT with a 39.202, takes the top spot. That one car has been pretty strong today. It seems like a very good track for all of XMRC. They've got all 4 cars in here. And one is, I think, stronger than he's ever been. But he's just been knocked down to third by, first of all, his teammate. Oh, and here come all the times. And Ryan Johnston with a 38.602. And then Ben Pye with 38.659. Savage Racing 1-2. Rolo Racing just put himself in a second. That 00 has had an abysmal season so far. And, I mean, the one time he did well in qualifying, the engine expired on him. That was last week out in Richmond. So he's looking to prove still that he's got it, but maybe it's the equipment holding him back? But it can't be. No Quarter Motorsport has 2 wins in a row. Either way, Ben Pye just jumped to the top of the board with a 38.597, just ahead of his teammate Ryan Johnston in the 92. CodyHGaming currently sitting in 4th with Goky in 5th and Carter Friesen up in 6th. Seeing these drivers starting to fight for track space a little bit. Carter Friesen sitting in 8th, Brad Flynn sitting in 9th. And the 16 had to go a little bit wide through turns 3 and 4 there. Chase the Cowdy in the 7 just put himself to the top of the time board with a 38.375. He's a 10th and a half faster than anyone else has been. What a lap from Chase the Coyote. And I think he's deep in the pack here. He is. He probably got a lot of draft working behind his teammate Hunter B. So the 7 getting a bit of a tow here from the 77 and puts himself on provisional pole. Michael Deitch in the 57 also got a pretty good lap in. 38.5. He's still more than a 10th behind Chase's time, but that's enough to put him up into 2nd. Just as I say that, Rusty Broussard goes even faster. 55's up in 2nd with 38.458. And it looks like the DTRV teammates here are doing the swap. So Chase is going to pull out in front of Hunter B and see if they can get that 77 up the time charts. Because he's currently sitting down in 40th. And this little line of cars all being pulled by Crispy Fried Racer in the 91. Of course, a lot of rumors boiling over in this silly season throughout the past week. Crispy has not been happy with the 91, despite his poor performance in comparison to NASCAR Fan 48. He's supposedly still blaming the equipment, although it's certainly a controversial opinion in the paddock. See what Incarnation trying to get around Austin Ripp. Now, whoa, boy, the 84 came way down the track. He wants to come into the pits. Incarnation, who had fired Austin Ripp just a couple of weeks ago, picked up F1 Fan to go in the 24 car, and that team has just been great since then. The 24 hasn't missed a single race. So Luke Rainey, who did so well in pre-qualifying, right now sitting in 7th with a 38.607. Pretty good run for No Quarter Motorsports so far, with Rolo in 5th. Trace and Hello are sitting in 10th and 11th. Although McSpookboy's struggling a little bit, he's down in 36th. Not struggling quite as much as the number 42, Julio Caesar. It has not been a good season for him either. And when it looked like everything was going well, his race went up in flames. He's sitting down in 41st in this qualifying session, and he needs to pick it up. He's got a little bit of draft here, but I think these tires are sort of nearing the end of their life. If these guys want to set another fast lap, they're going to have to pit and get some fresh Goodyears on there. Otherwise, I think the time cheats are going to look pretty much the same. So Drayden Zen currently sitting in 42nd, Julio Caesar in 41st, and then Hunter B stuck down in 40th. Anderson Reed is in 39th, and then it's Austin Ripp in 38th, and Sabretooth, who did so well in pre-qualifying, is down in 37th in that number 66. What looks like some drivers coming in now to get some fresh tires on. They're going to have time to jump out and set another quick lap. Here comes the 28 of CodyHGaming. He's currently sitting down in 18th. As well as the 16 of Brad Flynn. He's down in 21st. But some fresh tires, maybe a little bit of luck with the traffic on track. Get some draft maybe. And these guys can be right back in the mix. So with just 2 minutes left in the session, we're going to see some quick times being posted. And maybe a little shake-up at the top of the board. But so far, it's been Chase the Coyote almost a tenth faster than everyone else, and Rusty Broussard sitting in second. DS Gaming doing pretty well for Power Sport Racing. He's sitting in 8th. And NASCAR Fireball 48 is sitting in 9th. So let's take a look at some of these drivers on the fresh tires. We know What Incarnation just came and put a set on. Here he is working the bottom side on his teammate, F1 fan. The 95 and the 24 running side by side, looking pretty cool doing it too. Still no big movements on the time board. What Incarnation really wants to get past F1 fan, but I think these guys got to work together because they're closing in on Jake 24, who doesn't have fresh tires. And you can see just how bumpy this track is down the back straightaway. Cars bouncing up and down. That's got to be hard on the spines of these drivers. So F1 fan does make the move to the bottom, and What Incarnation will as well. Cody's caught up pretty well. Let's see if he's got a decent lap in him that time around. CodyHGaming moves up to 4th. A fantastic lap from the 28. He was down in 18th, but that moves him ahead of Ben Pye. And that'll put him second on the outside row, if no one else sets a quicker lap. Time expiring now, which means drivers will get a chance to finish their final laps. And then the starting grid will be set. I don't think anyone can get close to Chase the Coyote's time. That was such an amazing lap. What Incarnation crosses line doesn't improve his time. Neither does F1 fan. So not a very good run from them. Brad Flynn doesn't improve his time either. So it looks like Cody's one of the only ones to make these fresh tires work at the end. See if Sabretooth can get a decent run here. He's still down in 37th, and he has not been going quick. I don't think they took new tires in that car, and it's just slow. So time expires. The grid is set. Chase the Coyote will start on pole. Rusty Broussard on the outside. That's Michael Deitch, CodyHGaming, Ben Pye, Rollo, Ryan Johnston, Luke Rainey, Brad Flynn, and DS Gaming. Now we're going to fake ourselves a qualifying session. And now we take a 5 or so minute break to set the order manually. Bit of a painful process, but worth it in the end, because otherwise qualifying would take around about 2 seconds. So with that, I'm gonna pop.
Well, in the meantime, I guess I can fill in
some, Jesus.
some holes. Hi, how you doing?
Oh my God, I did not know you were in here. Hi.
I've been here for, well, I should say I've been in the pits for probably about 10 minutes now.
Trace Ride, everyone. He's on the microphone.
Yes, I am. That'd be me. I am your pit reporter. I'll be following along, trying to keep up with all the stories and stuff that are developing as the race goes on. Firstly, there is some serious discrepancy between Crispy Fried Racer and his team owner. If I am going to venture a guess now, I know it's a little early in the season, but I would venture to guess now that Crispy's going to be out of that seat regardless of whether or not he goes anywhere. Crispy is saying that it's the car that's the reason he's slow, and then team owner is just like, no, he's just slow. It's not the car. So with that kind of tension, I don't think we're going to continue to see Crispy in that ride. Might even get booted out before the end of the season. I don't know.
I don't want to be picking sides here, but I think there's a little bit more value to what team owner NASCAR lover is saying with how great of a run NASCAR Fan 48 had in the first 3 races of the season.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's an equipment problem as much as a driver problem. He's still a rookie, so I don't know if he expected to come out and win a race or win every race. And it's a learning process. It's a different type of driving when you get here from the amateur league or any other type of racing. So I think it's an adjustment period, and I think that there needs to be some calm on Crispy stuff. So yeah. Other news, it's an impressive position for CodyHGaming. I think this is his best qualifying effort to date in that 4th slot. Also, Rolo, who rumor was that he might be out of a ride at the end of the season, needed to start showing up to races and puts himself in 6th on the board. A good run by him.
Yeah, in stark contrast to what Julio Cesar ended up doing in qualifying here today. That 42 needed a good run. There's already been lots of talks from his team owner Priya McShane about him possibly stepping down to either a part-time role next season or maybe even down to the amateur league.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors going floating around between team owners and things. It's a complicated thing. You gotta put your guys in the car, but how soon do you get them out if they're not performing? Where do you send them? What do you do with them? Do you free agent them? What do you do? I know that at no quarter, the team owner of NQM thinks that Rolo is a great talent. The one time he sat in for an injured Trace Rider in that 39 car, he did really well and impressed him. So I don't think he'll be out of a no quarter motorsports role. I just think he might be out of that ride if he doesn't start. In the instance of Priya's case, she might wind up booting the Julio Cesar totally and sending him into free agency and see where he gets picked up. And as we can see in free agency, anything can happen. Austin Ripp got booted and then he got picked up in favor over a race-winning, very strong running driver, which still doesn't make sense to a lot of people. But
actually,
I think it happened.
I don't think F1 fan has ever won a race.
No, but he did have a very strong performance in the points last year.
He was one of the best, especially through the first half of last season. Led the points.
One of the most consistent, highest finishing drivers to keep himself up there in the points.
But just never punched that W, though. Hasn't quite made it.
I'm getting word it's actually confirmed that Julio Cesar will be going to the SSAL next year.
Wow.
And he'll be out of the ride of the 42.
Well, Priya's been talking a lot about Aiden McCrow. She really wants to start moving him up through the ladder, but right now it's just kind of a packed house. You know, to move someone in, you got to move someone out.
Yeah. And it's one of those, do you bring up your SSAL driver? If your SSAL driver isn't performing, do you leave him in there? Do you get him out of the ride? Who do you put? It's a big old mess every time. And I know some teams aren't happy. Like Jacob Pitts is boycotting the next SSAL race because of terrible officiating, and that certainly doesn't help evaluation processes or anything like that. So it's a big old problem.
Well, he's still got another week to think about it. They're going to be shipping the car off to the UK anyways for the next few rounds. So, well, that'll be up to him and the team owner to see what goes on with that car. All right. So our little silly... Oh.
Big dick energy.
Oh, super chat. Team JL22 with the $1.70. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate the super chats. And welcome on in glad you're enjoying these streams as much as we are. It's a great time, and we're about to get this race ready to go. Thank you, Trace Rider, for the fun little silly season corner, as usual. Always great to have you here. Let's get this grid set up for 100 laps here at Auto Club Speedway.
Before we get started, I have some other breaking news.
All right.
The number 9 of Fire has been signed by Mechanized Racing next season, and the VGO3 will vacate his ride.
Wow. So that 82 is done.
Yes, we are 7 races into the season, and people are already planning for next season. Crazy.
Wow. So VGO3 might end up without a ride next season. I know that. Did someone just walk into the booth?
No, that was
Oh, that was you.
yeah. Little feedback, my bad.
I think we might have Jacob in later. He's currently a little bit preoccupied. But that's all right.
I'm telling you, man, every time we go to one of these tracks, the food service lines are so long, and it's so hard to get into the booth. It's a big old problem.
At least it's popular here at the Drive-Thru Sim Series. So, with the grid all set, we're going to make our way on over to the command and to get this show on the road. It's time for the most famous words in motorsport.
Drivers, start your engines!
All right, boys, just like we talked about in the meeting, what's going to pay off for us today?
Big dick energy.
Good smooth racing on the racetrack, and that's what'll take us up to the front. We'll be there at the end of this thing.
Oh, we got $5 worth of energy from John Felper. Thank you so much. Good timing with it as well here on the pacing lap. I do appreciate it, John. Love having you around. Twitch, YouTube, wherever you are, even in Discord. Thank you so much for the support. And you know that money's going somewhere. I can't talk about it just yet, but there are big things planned, and it's worth it. So I do appreciate it, and all that money's going straight back into the channel. So, with the cars pacing down the back straightaway here, Chase the Coyote with that fantastic lap time, starting on pole, Rusty Broussard on the outside of him, and then it's Michael Deitch, CodyHGaming, Benpai 1024, Rollo, then the 92 of Ryan Johnston, Luke Rainey, Brad Flynn, and DS Gaming. The pace van will bring the field through turns 3 and 4, and then we're going to fire these things up for 200-mile-an-hour racing here in California. Should be pretty interesting here with this new high downforce, high drag package. I think these drivers are going to stay pretty close together, but we'll have to wait and see. Green flag in the air. We're going racing. And a pretty good start already from Chase the Coyote. He's got the 57 of Michael Deitch close behind him. Meanwhile, Benpai did not get off well at all, and he's dropping back and holding up this inside line as the field spreads out through turns 1 and 2. Michael Deitch already having a peek to the inside of Chase the Coyote now, but he's side by side battling with the 55 of Rusty Broussard as the whole field stays 2 lines down the back straightaway and into turn 3. Rusty Broussard taking a peek to the inside of the 7, but Chase the Coyote is going to hold that middle line around the racetrack, and it looks like that's the best place to be right now as Luke Rainey gets put up 3 wide by the 15 and the 9 of NASCAR Fireball going way to the bottom of the track. Lap 1 led by number 7, Chase the Coyote, but here comes the 55 of Rusty Broussard to the inside. He had a great run down the front straightaway, and through turn 2, he's going to clear the 7 and put that 55 into the lead. Michael Deitch, meanwhile, now starting to put a little bit of pressure here on Chase the Coyote. Benpai has recovered from his bad start, but he's got a rear mirror full of the 28 of CodyHGaming. See how well the bottom side works through 3 and 4. Chase the Coyote washes way up the track, and that's going to cost him second place because here comes Michael Deitch, and they're still going 3 wide here with DS Gaming now on the bottom. And that puts Brad Flynn in the middle and Rollo way up by the wall. This whole field still staying really, really close together, but the 55 of Rusty Broussard starting to pull away just a little bit as Michael Deitch having to fend off an attack here from Benpai, but he doesn't get a good run out of the corner at all. He's going to drop back in line behind Chase the Coyote down into 4th place. Chase, meanwhile, looking to try and get back that 2nd spot from the 57 of Michael Deitch. Looking at the bottom, coming out of the corner, but doesn't have any help. Ben Pye, Cody, they're all staying up top. And Chase is left all alone on the bottom. Here comes the 20, looking around the outside through turns 1 and 2. That won't work. And Chase drops back behind the 57, out of turn 2. This pack still staying really, really, really close together. Although they are single file across the top 10, I think they have to be, because as soon as you jump out of line, you're going backwards. Chase gets a really good run through turns 3 and 4 again. This looks to be his strong part of the racetrack. He's having a peak. Oh, we got a big wreck! The 9 in the wall, the 3's in. Oh, it's big! The 85, the 39, the 11, and they're just piling in! The whole front straightaway is wrecked! And Trace Ryder's going for a ride. The 84 of Austin Ripp and the 61 of Pure, the 98, the 66. Oh boy, that was a hard wreck. For Fireball especially, and we have a lot of wrecked race cars on lap number 5 here at Auto Club. It looked like such a good story for Sabretooth making his 2nd start of the season, but that 66 is absolutely done for the day. I'm surprised that car is still rolling. The 84 also gone. The 85 of Hello IMU, that's destroyed. The Pace Van has the rest of the field. Goky's also, I mean, they're just crop dusting the back straightaway here. The 98 of Asteroid Strike, I don't know how you can see out of the front windshield. And let's go back and take this apart. This looks like one of the biggest wrecks in Sim Series history, and I think it all started with the 85 and the 3. It was Priya McShane in there. So these guys are coming through turns 3 and 4. Priya washes up the track and gets into the corner of Hello IMU. And that sends the 85 into the 3, and they go hard into the outside wall. The rest of the pack is trying to come out of the corner, and they've got nowhere to go. And just pile right into it. David Alvarez also involved. Wow. What a wreck. And for these guys at the back, there's just no chance. Let's see what happened here to Trace Ryder, because he ended up getting sent down the racetrack. Oh, it was so close. There's just nowhere he can go. They're wrecking right in front of him. Boy, heavy contact for the 85 and the 3. The 9 as well. He comes back down across Goky's nose, takes out the 1 and the 61, and of course picks up his teammate as well, and then gets smacked by the 66. Meanwhile, everyone else who'd been trying to come down the infield to stay out of the carnage just end up collecting in it. We've got all these cars sliding through the grass. Wow, I don't know who made it through. I think Hunter B in the 77 made it through all right. But he might be the only one. It looks like What Incarnation also gets through. So the 60, the 18, the 95, and the 77 are the only cars deep in the pack here to make it through this wreck unscathed. And we're going to ride on board here with Hunter B, because this is going to be an interesting ride, to say the least. Up in smoke, can't even see, finds a gap, and just barely makes it through. My goodness. Let's see some of these guys who were just behind the accident, particularly from on board the 39 of Trace Ryder. And we can see how this comes to be. So Priya gets to the inside of the 85, but the 9 of Fireball slides way up, and Priya just runs out of grip halfway through the corner. Ends up causing that massive accident and then driving away. Oh, boy. Hard hits for the 39. So let's see if we can pick up the field here and pick up the pieces.
Oh, boy, what a mess, right? Holy wow.
What do you got down there, Trace? A body count?
I don't even know if I have a body count. We've got currently 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7 cars are a lap down, probably going to be down for a while. There's at least, I would say at least 3 or 4 more cars, 5, 6, 7. There's a lot of cars involved in this accident.
Oh, boy.
I was going to say, actually, that the 39 was dropping positions in a combination of being stuck up top and a apparently handling a race car. I've never, that was a hard hit. Took a shot to both doors and the side and it was 3 nosed in. He might be feeling that a little bit later. But wow, that was one of the biggest wrecks I've seen in DTSS history.
Absolutely huge. So through the caution here, everyone came into the pits except for the top 4 right now. So DSGaming, KHP01, Priya McShane, who really was the cause of that accident, and Savage
Did make
Toy
a lot
Show.
of friends.
Yeah, and sitting in 3rd still. Those 4 stayed out, but Rusty Broussard and Ben Pye and everyone on back, they came in for some fresh tires and a little top off on fuel. So retired from this event 10 cars on lap 5. And
Wow.
I'm just going to go through them quickly because we're 1 lap to green here. Trace Rider, Goky, Hello I'm You, Asteroid Strike 9, Austin Ripp, Drayden Zen, JR Preston Plays YT, Sabretooth49, Anderson Reed, and F1 Fan 2751 all retired as a result of that wreck.
Another interesting tidbit, this was yet another wreck where more than half of the No Quarter Motorsports cars were involved in.
But luckily, it looks like they only half of them are out. The 6 definitely has some damage. I think the 00 of Rollo is really their last shot. He's currently sitting down in 16th after they had a mediocre pit stop. And we're getting ready to go green here. So thanks for the update, Trace. Hopefully you can unpack a little bit of the carnage still with the coming laps down there.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try to talk to some drivers and see what they saw.
So DSGaming inherits the lead, but again, the top 4 here do not have fresh tires, although they've only raced about 5 laps, so it'll be interesting to see how much that comes into play. The Sim Series Pace van pulls into the pits, and for lap number 9 of 100, green flag back in the air here at Auto Club. Pretty good start here from DSGaming. It looks like they're going to stay single file for now. We know that draft is so important. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see the 55 of Rusty Broussard starting to weave his way up through the pack. As we look to the back, the cars with damage really, really slow and off pace. The 97, the 6, 61, the 46. I don't know if he's off pace or just stuck in here. But the 3, the 9, and the 33 all have a lot of damage. Ben Pye gets washed up the track a little bit. He's going to lose a lot of spots, and they're fanning way out. Chase the Coyote goes down to the line on the front stretch, trying to get to the inside of the 92, the 60, and the 20. You got 3 Savage Racing cars under a blanket, and Chase the Coyote wants to get past them all. Your pole sitter in that number 7, going to slide up the track a little bit, as Brad Flynn's trying to make the middle work through 1 and 2, getting between the 83 and the 60, but he does not get a good run out of the corner. As Priya McShane now to the bottom for 2nd. The 8 went way up the track, and he might hold up the 55 a little bit. Here comes the 92 of Ryan Johnston. Priya McShane's going for the lead coming out of turn 4. What a run from the 41. And takes the lead from DSGaming, but KHP and the rest of the pack are very, very close behind Ryan Johnston with those fresh tires, trying to get the very bottom of the track working. Won't do it this time by. And I don't think Priya has a lot of friends on the racetrack, so I don't know how long she can survive out here in the lead. KHP still working the inside of DSGaming. This is for 2nd. And we're starting to get a couple of distinct lines here through the corner. Although 3 and 4 looks a little bit more spread out. KHP gets pretty good runs through the turns, but doesn't have the straight line speed to really bring a fight to the 41. Priya McShane now moves down the track to try and take some of the air away from the 8 and the 92, and the rest of these cars trying to make the bottom side work. And that 41 is going to hold on to the lead for now.
Big news from the pit lane. They put Sabretooth on a stretcher. He's out at least the next 2 weeks.
Wow.
Rumored Nathan Kiani will attempt Bristol, and No Compass will attempt Talladega. So there's some big news so far. I'm still getting comments from drivers.
Thanks, Trace. Wow, just went from one of the best weekends to one of the worst for that 66 team. We all wish a good recovery there to Sabretooth. This is 7 of Chase the Coyote, now looking for the lead. We know he's got those fresh tires. We know this car is fast, and he's looking to the inside of the 41 of Priya McShane for the lead. Here through turns 3 and 4. Priya unable to close off the line. Here comes the 7 with the 57 and the 55 in tow, as the now shrunk pack races its way out of turn 4.
All right, so I was able to talk to Hallow a little bit. Honestly, rightfully upset with Priya McShane. Some expletives that I won't share. But hates to see it for the No Quarter Motorsports guys. He compared Priya's driving to an 80-year-old on the highway. So
Yeah.
Asteroid Strike said he just had nowhere to go, and dropped that sarcastic comment of "Wish you could have been the cause. We could have got T-boned a little harder." And talked to J.R. Preston Plays a bit as well. Sid doesn't know what happened. He was just minding his own business, and then there were cars everywhere. So what can you do?
So what did happen?
There were 10 cars of Dana. Thank you for finally getting out of the hot dog line, Jake.
I'm sorry. A lot of people are fat and hungry here today.
Welcome to the booth, Jacob Hitz. Good to have you here.
Yes.
You did miss one heck of an event here. Probably one of the biggest wrecks in Sim Series history, with 10 DNFs in one go, and a lot of unhappy drivers with that number 41. Priya McShane, who's now falling back on those older tires. Pretty much undoubtedly the cause of that accident. Be interesting to hear if there's any comment on that after the race. But for now, Chase the Coyote back in the lead after starting from pole, with Michael Deitch and Rusty Broussard close behind. And Priya's actually doing a decent job here of holding up the rest of the pack. The 77, the 16, the 28.
Big dick energy.
Oh, more energy.
Pantallica
Pantallica.
super chatted $1 for the 57.
Dollar for
Chase
the
the Coyote
57.
leading the race. I thought
Thank
we saw
you.
this movie already last week.
Pantallica with the 570 for the 57, who's right now going for the lead. Here comes Michael Deitch to the inside. I don't think he can get a good run out of the corner, and that might put him on the back foot, because here comes the 55 of Rusty Broussard. He's going to have a better run, and he might look to the bottom here through 3 and 4. But I do appreciate the super chats, Pan. You really don't have to. You're literally a gold patron, but I do appreciate it still. Thank you. Oh, we got 3 wide. The double zero's getting a little bit of ping pong here between the 77 and the 22. I just want to take a look at that one more time. Coming out of turn 4, they were so close together. Mark Silas slides up the track, and they touch a few times. Boy, that was dangerous.
That's the last thing No Quarter Motorsports wants to see, is another driver get wrecked. They've seen enough of it this year and enough of it this race.
Yeah, Rolo's the only NQM car that hasn't been involved in a wreck so far today. And he's doing well. He's sitting in the top 10 for now, although getting a little bit dicey. Trace?
Just if I can hear. On the radio post-wreck, Priya did want their team to go down to apologize to the 85 for getting loose on the bottom and causing that whole problem. Whether or not he accepts that, that's
Big dick energy.
well, that's to be seen.
Oh,
John
we got
Felder
more
super
energy.
chatted $1 for the 39.
3.9 for the 39. Oh, John, you don't have to, man, but thank you again. John sends 390 for the 39, and the early end to their day.
Is this John? Like
John Felber,
Fitzwater
John. John Felber.
Oh.
Fork Boy. I'm Drifty.
I tried to talk to Trace after he got out of the car, and he threw his helmet at me. So I'm sure he'll appreciate your sentiment.
Priya, meanwhile, is still holding up the pack on those old tires. Here come the drivers who did pit to the inside, the 28, the 22, and her teammate, the 16. Michael Deitch, meanwhile, hasn't been able to get past Chase the Coyote. Boy, Chase is really good at leading these races early on, isn't he?
Yeah, the question is can he finish out the deal this week? Last week was kind of a heartbreak for him, so
As was
I'm
CTMP.
sure he has that in his mind.
Michael Deitch goes way up the track. He's near the wall here. That's going to open the door for the 55 of Rusty Broussard. See if he can get a good run out of the corner, though. The 7 is going to give the draft to the 57. So Michael Deitch may just hold on to that second place. And now through 1 and 2, advantage to the 55. Rusty Broussard, can he get a good run on the back straightaway?
Dick energy.
Oh my God, we got more energy. Jeez.
CodyHGaming super chatted $1 for the number 28. And in before I get wrecked.
CodyHGaming. Thank you, text to speech. Thank you, CodyHGaming, for the 280. 2.8 for the number 28. And in before I get wrecked. Well, I gotta say, pretty good day so far. Sitting currently in the top 5, but fighting for 4th here with the number 92, Ryan Johnston. Cody had a good run in qualifying. Started 4th, now he's back up to 4th. And I think one of the fastest drivers on the track right now. Michael Deitch, meanwhile, has fended off the attack from the 55, and he's knocking on the door for the lead again. As this pack is starting to spread out a little bit, hopefully we stay away from chaos at least for a little while. These drivers should be able to go around 45 laps on fuel, and they pitted on lap 6. So I don't think they're going to be able to make it to the end on one stop, but some drivers might try and cut it close. We've certainly seen our fair share of fuel strategy here in the Sim Series so far this season. As here comes Rusty Broussard for 2nd place again, trying to get a better run through turns 1 and 2. But again, just can't get a good run out of the corner. Things could get shaken up here, though, because Carter Friesen, who's already a lap down, very, very much off the pace after a lot of damage sustained in that early big wreck, could start backing up this pack pretty soon.
Tell you what, after Carter got that win in Toronto, he just hasn't had the luck. You know, I mean, messed up getting onto pit road last week at Richmond, running lap times that were faster than the leader. And now today just gets collected in a crash, so hopefully it doesn't stay like that for too much longer.
Michael Deitch, meanwhile, has finally made the move work on Chase the Coyote. Through 3 and 4, he had a great run in the middle groove, and that 57 to the lead of the race. Chase the Coyote is going to stay pretty close behind here, and I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to mount a counterattack pretty soon. But his teammate, CodyHGaming, just moved himself into 3rd place, passing the 55 of Rusty Broussard, and just clears him coming out of turn 4. So this little line of 9 cars currently out front. Michael Deitch, who I don't think has really had a good run since the speed weeks at Daytona. It has not been a good season so far for that 57 team.
Yeah, really. It's been a lot of down since Daytona. But it's good to see him back out and doing pretty well here.
I was just talking about how well Cody was doing in the 28, but Rusty Broussard just squeezed around the outside on the exit of turn 2. So he is not done fighting yet, although Cody has a good turn 4, and he will be able to clear the 55 this time. But Rusty has been really working that high side through 1 and 2. You'll see it again here as he's beside Mark Silas. But we're going to have lap traffic in a second here in the form of NASCAR Lover 201. So hopefully he stays out of the way of the leaders and doesn't mess things up too much. And it looks like he will stay pretty much in the way.
He's just going to be a pain in everybody's neck. Cody, you see, he's going to the high side. He's just giving up. I think he's just going to wait to see if he can find a gap. But Michael Deitch just doesn't care. Almost ran him up into the wall.
Mark Silas just went from 5th to 2nd in the span of around half a lap.
And Chase the Coyote is going to lose about 7 spots here behind this lap traffic.
Yeah, he is really
not fun for him.
He's dropping back. I think he had Mark Silas just basically swapped spots. I don't know how the 22 got that good of a run, but boy, he is right behind the leader now. But he's sliding way up the track through 3 and 4. Still gets a decent run down the straightaway, though, and it looks like they are going to catch Carter Friesen pretty soon. Top 4 now with a bit of a gap over everyone who is held up more by the slow number 3, and it looks like Rollo is still feeling the effects here of NASCAR Lover's damage. Boy, that 3 really is not getting out of the way. Down the back straightaway, Carnation had to get way around him. And Mark Silas to the inside for the lead. Out of turn 4, here comes the number 22. A pretty quiet season for him. I don't think he's led at all. But he's bringing the fight here to Michael Deitch just as they're approaching the lap car of Carter Friesen, and this could get interesting.
Well, Mark Silas has been consistent on the ovals. You know, he was relevant for the most part at Daytona. He was good at Atlanta, pretty good at Iowa. But the road courses really kind of took the wind out of him, I think. Just didn't adapt well, struggled to find a good run and a good finish there. But it's good to see him back up towards the front.
And now in command of this race, I mean, I'm surprised that crazy run he had from 5th place. And here he goes. He's pulling away from Michael Deitch. He's got around Carter Friesen, no problem. So now here comes Deitch and Broussard to the inside of the 33. CodyHGaming in tow. Then the 7 of Chase the Coyote and the 0-2 of to AFK Master. Great run from him so far. His first time with a charter here in the Sim Series. Up in his 7th place. The car who team owner Xander M switched that charter with, the number 2 of Luke Rainey, not quite doing as well. I don't know if he got caught up in that wreck. It doesn't look like he has any damage, but right now he's sitting down in 16th. So Mark Silas in control by about 0.3 of a second, and that's the biggest lead we've had here all day. Great run here from the 22. As Rusty Broussard's still working on Carter Friesen. These lap cars are... you know, it's amazing how slow they are until they seem in the way. And now suddenly he's racing the 55 and almost making the outside work here.
Which is really impressive without a back bumper.
Oh, it's there. It's just real bent, but it's there. But it looks like I mean, he's actually holding a good amount of momentum on the top side. I think he might be proving to these drivers that it may be time to start changing lines a little bit. Because I think he just cleared the 55 out of turn 2. Not quite. Either way, it's allowing the 57 of Michael Deitch to pull away from the rest of these guys. Maybe focus a little bit more on trying to catch the leader.
Well, here's another thing to keep in mind. Carter's pitted not once but twice here during this race, so he could be on some fresher tires than some of the leaders that pitted under the first caution. So that could be why he's showing a little bit more racy than some of these guys, because he has fresher tires.
That's a good
last
point.
long, but
yeah, because he definitely came in since that most recent caution at some point. I think maybe trying to take advantage of some of this draft here and you know, trying to at least stay the first car a lap down. No traffic for a little while. The next cars on the track are entering turn 1 right now, and they're all pretty roughed up from that first incident.
yeah, I'd say so.
The 46 and the 53, I don't think they have a lot of damage, but the 53 definitely has some rear end damage. I know Alvarez was a little bit involved in that wreck. I think he's okay. Just lost the main group's draft here. So we'll work our way back up to the front of the field where Xander M is starting to get a little bit racy. He's crawled past the 95, the 02, now trying to get past Chase the Coyote. And move that 01 to the front. As Carter Friesen is still trying to race the leaders.
Well, guys, after that that big wreck, it's been relatively quiet down here. Only real thing I can report is more news on S66 with Sabretooth missing Dega. He's going to replace Kiani in that car at Texas. About all I've got.
Thanks, Trace. I assume we got some teams who have already started to pack up and head out.
Yeah, they know that the next 2 weeks they're gonna tear up a lot of cars.
Oh yeah, because after this,
With Bristol and Talladega, forget it. If we're getting the big one here at Auto Club, we're gonna see a 30-car pileup in Talladega in 2 weeks. Let me tell you what.
Talladega is certainly going to be interesting. It was actually a decently clean race last season. Bristol was not. And, and that's really going to be a test of some of these drivers' patience, really. So the 22 of Mark Silas still in control here. He's got a half a second lead over Michael Deitch. CodyHGaming, the 28, has now caught up to him, and Xander M has moved up into 4th, with his teammates AFK Master sitting in 5th. Rusty Broussard has been struggling a little bit, and he seems to be dropping back down the order.
Gotta wonder if he used up his tires a little bit there, because he has the fastest lap of the race so far, but it looks like we're about 4 seconds off the fastest lap at this point. So there is a giant tire fall off here, which makes sense because this racetrack has the consistency of sandpaper all the way around it, especially in the corners. It's very bumpy, very gritty. It's not a good track for tires, especially softer tires like these. So it's not surprising to see the fall off that we've seen. But Rusty, I wonder if he's overcooked the tires a little bit too much. And maybe he'll adapt how he's driving so he has fresher tires or more preserved tires later in a run.
I've also seen him running the bottom a lot, especially early on in this run, fighting for positions. And it's really just showing the wear now. He's holding up his team boss. One Incarnation's behind him. They're sitting 6th and 7th right now. Top 5 have all closed in on each other a little bit. Michael Deitch has reeled in Mark Silas by about 1.5 over the past couple of laps. So it looks like that big wing draft is coming into play in these long runs here at Auto Club. Chase the Coyote's still struggling. I mean, we know he got held up behind the slow lap number 3 car, but since then, maybe he'd been burning his stuff up a little bit too much as well, trying to stay in the lead. Now, here he is down in 8th with Rollo and Brad Flynn both trying to get around him. The rest of the pack is pretty well spread out here, although Priya, who didn't pit under caution, is, I mean, she was sitting up in 2nd place at one point. Now here she is down into 17th.
Sheesh.
So that 41 has just been going backwards on this green flag run. Other drivers who stayed out. It's 15 of DS Gaming, who was in the lead. He's down in 24th right now. KHP also stayed out. He's in 23rd. Yeah. So
Priya's actually fallen a couple of spots behind her teammate Julio Cesar, who's really been in the hot seat the past couple of weeks, has not been performing well in that 42. But now that car's been consistently inside the top 15 pretty much the whole race, and running ahead of his teammate and boss. So that certainly should be an eye opener for them. That maybe Julio isn't quite done yet.
I think he just needs a clean race here at this point.
And here's Okay, I guess that pass happened a lap ago, but Cody taking second away from Michael Deitch.
See if that 28 still got some tires underneath it, and maybe can bring the fight to Mark Silas for the lead. Michael Deitch struggling a little bit. Here comes Xander M to the inside through turns 3 and 4. He's going to make that pass stick pretty easily. So it looks like Michael Deitch, after leading 6 laps, might be all he's got for this run. Cody up into second place. He's still about half a second behind Mark Silas. Although now that he's clear the 57, let's see what kind of a lap time he can set around Auto Club. And we're going to be looking at pit stops pretty soon here, probably within the next 5 or so laps. We're definitely going to see those 4 cars that haven't stopped yet come in.
Yeah, we'll see them come in definitely first. How early did this caution happen? Was it like lap 1?
5. So they went around a little bit, and then the pack was still pretty close together, and they all got hammed up. So Cody has not been particularly quick in the past lap. He might be losing the draft almost on Mark Silas here, as the 0-1 and the 0-2 teammates battling each other a little bit. They're both past the 57 Michael Deitch. And AFK Master trying to take the fight to his team boss here. Look at the inside through turns 3 and 4. This is for 3rd place. It looked like a pretty good day for XMRC. They got all of their cars qualified into this race. But JR Preston plays one of those drivers who got taken out in that first big accident, and Luke Rainey has fallen down to 15th. The O2 and the O1 have had a pretty good day, though, but they're both here in the top 5. We're going to have some lap traffic here in a minute. The 9, the 97, boy, these cars are wrecked.
Seriously.
Mark Silas just gained another 0.5 of a second the last time around. He's got 0.6 over second place CodyHGaming. So that 22 had really saved his stuff up for the right moment, planned this attack, and has executed it perfectly so far. I think Cody's struggling. I mean, he got past the 57, but I think we're starting to see some tire fall off from him now. That last lap, he went 0.3 slower than Mark Silas. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some guys coming in early here and just getting some laps under these fresh tires, trying to get that undercut working. See if it'll really be interesting for whenever any of these guys here in the lead group start coming in, as we saw some of the lap cars starting to pit. The 60, the 41, the 15, everyone who didn't pit under the first caution, they're definitely coming in. Mark Silas now having to deal with a little bit of lap traffic, and this could play to the advantage of the rest of the top 5 as long as they pit before they get caught up too much.
Hey guys, looks like it's just going to be 4 tires and fuel. Minor adjustments here and there. I'm going to say this, knowing that it's loaded saying it, but it should just be a normal green flag pit cycle.
Should be. Thanks, Trace. Hopefully everything goes well, especially for the drivers who pit early. 53 of Richard Herman coming in. Janza as well, Crispy Fried Racer, as well as Jake 24 and Midlife. And it's getting busy down here. And 4 tires and fuel is the call for pretty much everyone trying to go long. They won't be able to make it to the end of the race, but they will be able to get pretty darn close. So if we stay green, that's a big if. If we stay green, there's going to be a lot of strategy mix-up here. And it looks like here come the leaders. Mark Silas, CodyHGaming, Michael Deitch, Xander M. But AFK Master stays out. So the O2 is going to go an extra lap here, and this might cost him because they're just so slow on these worn tires. They're going around 6 seconds slower than the fastest lap right now. So let's watch the leaders as they come in. Xander M, early pit box. Mark Silas as well. And 4 tires will be the call for all of them. Let's see if we can find AFK Master and what's going on with the 0-2. He's still staying out. So maybe they're trying to go long and hope for caution. But look at the speed difference. Boy, oh boy. The 55 of Rusty Broussard taking his lap back, just driving right by the 0-2. Oh, be careful. These guys are coming out of the pits 3 wide. Cody gets squeezed by McSpookboy in the 6. Down on the apron, they're just running out of space. Oh, and the 97 is way slower than all these guys with fresh tires. And it's chaotic on track. The 0-2 slow. Priya's trying to get around. AFK Master is going to lose a lot of time. There's just such a difference in tires between new and old. The 0-2 is holding up the 41 and the 83. That's going to allow Cody by. The 97 also on very, very old tires. You can see he's got the 18 of DNP flying past him. Oh, boy. And AFK Master is still staying out. So I think he was hoping for a caution here in the pit cycle and just didn't get it. And look at the speed difference. Oh my goodness. I tried to go down to the
02 and ask him why they're still out, and their crew chief just kind of shrugged at me. So, I don't know. This is dumb.
Oh, he just got run into by DS Gaming. We saw some parts coming off the cars out of turn 2, and the 02 is going to have a little bit of rear end damage, and he's still staying out. This is getting dangerous here. I mean, these drivers are flying past him. Oh boy, Jans had to get way on the brakes. My goodness. So, essentially taking over Chase the Coyote and Rusty Broussard, they both pitted very early and got the advantage of the undercut, but their tires are going to go a little bit before everyone else's. We know they're both really, really struggling. So Mark Silas, Xander M, they're essentially in 3rd and 4th, but that really puts them in 5th and 6th because AFK Master still hasn't pitted. You know what? He might be trying to one-stop the race. Because we know they can do 40-some laps on fuel. If he goes about 3 or 4 more laps, he might be able to make it to the end if we stay green. So this could be a really, really bold strategy call from the 0-2 team. He's going to be way down the order through pretty much the rest of the run. But if everyone else has to pit, he could make this work off of fuel. We have a caution. We have a caution on the track. There's a wreck on the front straightaway somewhere. See if we can pick up who this was. And this is going to play right in the hands of the 0-2. Carter Friesen is sliding up the track, and it's David Alvarez trying to get around the outside of him, and the 33 just didn't know he was there. Big damage for the 46. And that is going to bring out the caution with the AFK Master way out front. A lot of these drivers are going to get caught a lap down. And the 0-2 might be able to make it to the end of the race if he pits this time. We might see everyone pit this time just to extend their fuel run to the end. This is going to get interesting here.
Yeah, I see a lot of calculators and pencils flying up and down the pit lane here, so maybe.
Boy, oh, Pantallica is not happy with
no,
with
I can
33's
feel
drive.
I can feel the heat from his pit box from here. So I'm about 4 or 5 down.
Unsurprisingly, AFK Master is going to take the chance to get a pit stop here. Led 6 laps here, and let's see what the rest of the leaders do. Most of them are going to stay out, but some of them are coming in. The 77 of Hunter B, KHP01, they're going to come in again. The 41 of Priya McShane is going to get another pit stop. The 15 and the 60 stay out, interestingly enough, because they pitted around 4 laps earlier than everyone else. Jans is going to come in again. DNP10 hadn't pitted yet, so he's going to stay on the lead lap. Very, very interesting now. So we've got a lot of lap cars in the way, but essentially, Chase the Coyote will take over the lead of the race yet again. This is going to be tight. I don't think they can make it to the end. The guys who pit now, maybe. Just maybe. But they're going to be deep in the pack. So, all sorts of pit strategy going on here. So, to AFK Master will fall down to, I believe, 21st place. But this could be the strategy they were looking to make. David Alvarez is not happy on the radio here with the way the 33 was driving so slowly on those old tires. I knew it'd get dangerous, the difference in speed here, and David Alvarez very, very unhappy. Still in this race, though. So we've got some lap cars pitting now. Mechanized Chaos will come in, as will Carter Friesen. David Alvarez is going to finally get a chance to fix that damage. So we're going to go green with just a couple of cars stacked up in front of the leader. Should be okay. There's always some sort of chaos in the Sim series, isn't there?
I mean, I did say that it should be a normal pit cycle.
it almost made it.
Possibly lead to.
It almost did it.
Yeah, we almost did.
It was the last car out. One of the last cars out. Carter
Man,
Friesen.
put down the tire iron. Pantallica is very not happy right now.
Oh boy.
Swinging a tire iron in his box at various different things.
Finally, it looked like it had all been going well for the 40 and the 46. Those two cars have been struggling all season long. Drayden Zen, in his first ever attempt, qualifies and then gets taken out in a big wreck. David Alvarez qualifies again and then gets taken out in a wreck. At least Michael Deitch is doing well, though he's fallen down to 9th place through the pit cycle. We know that car's been fast. Goky was also taken out in that first wreck, so yeah, it's pretty much only the 57 left. So I think we're going to get the 1 to green this time by, as 33 is still on track. Carter Friesen came in for some new tires and maybe a little bit more damage repair. It's really hard to tell. But I don't think David Alvarez will be too happy with the car in his rearview mirror. Okay, so we got the 1 to green, and we got some drivers a lap down, so we'll try to keep you on top of everything. At the front of the field, and essentially 1 lap down, the 53 and the 9, because the leader is the 7 of Chase the Coyote, which puts the 61 of Pure a lap down. I don't know why he's still in the top lane, because he really shouldn't be. Because the 3 got down. Alright, well, either way, we're going to get going green here. The 3, the 6, the 97, the 46, and of course, the 33 of Carter Friesen. They're all a lap down. Actually, Carter Friesen is 2 laps down. He's the only car 2 laps down. And we still have only the same, the same 10 retirements from that very early wreck here on lap 5. So for lap 57 of 100, maybe some fuel strategy coming up here. Chase the Coyote will stay in the lead and take this restart. Got some drivers a little bit angsty on the radio. This is going to be a very interesting restart, especially with all these slow cars up front. How aggressive are these drivers going to be? Pace Van pulls into the pits, and for the 3rd time today, green flag in the air here at Auto Club, and immediately you can see the speed difference between the top line and the bottom line. Those 5 cars immediately dropping way back in the pack, but the 95 of What Incarnation already getting aggressive here. He's on the inside of the 92 of Ryan Johnston. And he's going to be running into some trouble in the form of these damaged cars pretty soon. Clean so far, but the 3 moves up in front of Cody on the back straightaway. This is going to ham everything up because he's slow, the 6 is slow, and Cody's got nowhere to go. And it's spreading out behind them with the 97 going way up high. Michael Deitch trying to make it through the middle with Carnation on the bottom. They got to turn 4 okay, but it's getting pretty dicey back here. KHP's going 3 wide. They're going to be almost 4 wide to turn 1. Keep it 3 for now with KHP way on the bottom. Janza also sends it in pretty hard with Rollo stuck way on top. And here comes Pri on the bottom as well. We know that can be dangerous. Deep in the pack, it is busy, busy, busy. 3 wide. The 3 of NASCAR Lover holding up that top lane. And everyone jumping to the bottom to try and get a run here. But boys, this is dangerous. Be careful through here. The 47 slides up. The 15 is going to turn the 57. Michael Deitch is in the wall. Oh boy. Big damage to the 57. And if Pantallica wasn't mad enough before. Oh boy. We're going to have to get security down there. I think he's leaving.
Well, he was carrying a Molotov cocktail, and I don't know where he was going with it.
It looks like I'm hearing he's heading to the exits now. Pantallica is just leaving. So Michael Deitch has fallen way down the order. He's got a lot of damage on the car. And these guys are still really, really dicey deep in the pack here, trying to get around these slow lapped cars. Meanwhile, at the front, Chase the Coyote still holds on to the lead. But here comes the 55 of Rusty Broussard, and these guys have battled already today. And we talked about how far down the 2 had fallen. Here he is. Luke Rainey's suddenly back in the battle for the lead. Xander M with a good run out of turn 2, trying to get around the outside of the 55. The 53 of Richard Herman is a lapped car, trying to stay on the lead lap. He's certainly got some speed in the car, because he's staying ahead of these guys for now and maybe just packing together these lead group of cars. Mark Silas, who led a good handful of laps, he's sitting down in 5th place. He just passed Brad Flynn for it. Chase the Coyote trying to get around and get a lap on the 53 of Richard Herman, and I think for now Rusty Broussard is just going to follow him on the bottom. Broussard looking to the inside again. Hopefully he learned his lesson about tire fall off, because he's been really aggressive on the bottom side. And we got another big group of cars here with David Alvarez stuck in the middle and Priya McShane working the bottom. So that 41, who took that extra pit stop under caution, has absolutely charged her way through the field, and with slightly fresher tires than everyone else, Priya McShane's into the top 10. The leaders still trying to work past the 53 here. The top 2 are now by, and Luke Rainey starting to work the inside. He's got his teammate Xander M behind him, and Mark Silas back into the picture. Rusty Broussard still trying to make that bottom work. Mark Silas gets really close to the 01 coming out of turn 4, and I think they might have just brushed each other. That 22 wants to get back in front. Meanwhile, at the front, it's Rusty Broussard to the inside of Chase the Coyote through turns 1 and 2. Luke Rainey also getting a part of the mix. See if the 55 can get a good enough run out of the corner to hang on to the lead, and he does. For the second time today, put that 55 out front. Chase the Coyote.
I just want to pop in. We have an update on Pantallica, who has been tweeting like a madman. Has called out all of DEI and Carter Friesman using expletives that I cannot repeat on the air.
Oh, right. Thanks for the update, Trace. Priya McShane staying aggressive now to the inside of the 22 and the 8, putting both these DEI cars 3 wide, although I think Wisely gets back in a line by the time they get back through turns 1 and 2. Chase the Coyote has been stuck on the top and moving backwards, as has the 0-1 of Xander M. So Luke Rainey moves himself into 2nd, and Mark Silas is currently working on getting into 3rd. And this whole pack is all back together again and getting a little bit crazy because here comes the 8 of KHP up the middle as Priya slides up the track in front of him. So Chase the Coyote has fallen way back down into 6th place with Xander M in 7th. And now a part of the mix here, the 16 of Brad Flynn, the 95 of What Incarnation. They have a chance at the lead here. Obviously, we have the 53 who's 1 lap down, but the rest of these guys, apart from Carter Friesen and David Alvarez, are going to be fighting for it. And Luke Ray has closed in on the 55, so maybe some good adjustments on the 2 car because he is looking fast. Priya McShane, meanwhile, to the inside for 3rd on Mark Silas. I think that 41 might be one of the quickest cars on track right now. Certainly one of the most aggressive all day. But probably had her name scratched off a few Christmas lists after what happened earlier on tonight. And I don't think a win would make that any better. Priya McShane now dropping down into 5th. Pulls up the track here to block the 7 of Chase, and the field spreads out again through 3 and 4. Mark Silas goes to the bottom for 2nd, but Priya goes even lower. Priya McShane squeezing the 22 coming out of the corner, and the 41 just went from 5th to 2nd in 1 set of corners. What a move from Priya McShane. Absolutely fearless and getting her elbows out. Here she is going to the bottom for the lead. Coming out of turn 2. It's Rusty Broussard under attack from Priya McShane, but I don't think she's going to have any help.
I love my teammates. I love my teammates. I love
Oh
my
my goodness,
teammates.
that's
I love
loud.
my teammates.
Thank you, YT Slappy 764, for the old Twitch follow. Welcome aboard. You've joined at a very good time because Priya McShane has just made the move stick on the bottom for the lead, and KHP is going to try and follow her. So that 41 is out front for the 2nd time today, as well as DNP, who also got some fresh tires under that previous caution. He's making his way up through the field as well, as is the 0-2 of to AFK Master. Really, really bold strategy through the pit cycle from that team, and it has been working out so far. He's got fresher tires than the rest of the field and more fuel than everybody else. So if this does come down to a fuel strategy run, the 0-2 and the 41 and the 18 are looking like some of the best bets. But here comes KHP to the bottom for the lead out of turn 4. Doesn't have much of a run down the front straightaway and can't quite get to the inside of the 41. Meanwhile, Hunter B in the 77, another one of those cars who has a little bit more gas and fuel than anyone else. He's on the inside of Janza with the damage on the hood of that car. I mean, he was involved in that first wreck. This does not look like a car that's running in the top 10, but he is doing it. We know this is one of his best racetracks. He had a great run here last season. But there's still visible damage on the car. This is really, really impressive stuff from Janza in that 47 team. The leaders, meanwhile, still running side by side, coming out of turn 4. KHP01 on the bottom, Priya McShane on the top. And give that lap lead to the number 8 car, just barely nosing out Priya McShane across the line. Now trying to make the inside work through 1 and 2. Priya's going to have the run out of the corner, though, as they come out onto the back straightaway, getting really, really close together. And that 41 will clear the 8 by the time they get into turns 3 and 4. But KHP is going to try the bottom again. This is a great battle for the lead. 2 drivers with a lot of experience here in the Sim Series. And this time, KHP does clear Priya McShane. And the 8 will hold on to the lead. So, strong day for DEI. We've seen the 22 leading. Now the 8 is out front. Not been a great day for the 91 and the 3, but for one half of the team, it's been fantastic. Mark Silas is currently sitting down in 5th place, but currently on the move to the front. The 18 of DNP10 and the 77 of Hunter B. Drivers who took that gamble, got those tires. AFK Master, another one of those drivers who pitted under that previous caution. And we've had a long enough run that they've just worked their way up to the front of the pack. Janza as well. One of those drivers who has 3 pit stops. So he did come in under the last caution.
The tweet storm continues. This time, Priya McShane has been called out and her entire team. I don't know where Pan went. He left carrying a Molotov, and that was the last I saw of him. So look out in the parking lot, I guess. I don't know where he could possibly be.
All right, keep your eyes peeled, fans, and watch out for Pantallica, I guess. Thanks, Trace, for the update. DNP 10 has closed in on these leaders. He's been running about a couple tenths faster than the rest of the field every lap now. So that 18 is absolutely cooking and looking to get into the lead of this race. And again, if this does turn into a fuel strategy battle, I think these drivers can almost make it to the end. It's definitely going to be close. The 41, the 18, the 77, the 02, the 47, those are the drivers who are in position to make it to the end. So since KHP took the lead, Priya McShane staying pretty close behind. Here comes the 18 of DNP 10 into the picture. DNP just barely missed out on the chase-offs last season. Came so close at Darlington. Never had a win in the Sim Series, but has certainly had his fair share of top 10s and top 5s. Having a pretty good run here today, as we're going to cross the line with just 26 laps left in the race. McShane Motorsports on the radio of the 41 telling her to save as much fuel as possible. They're going to try and get to the end, and I think, well, they're on the same strategy as DNP, and DNP is pushing pretty hard, so this could get interesting. The 41 saves more than the 18 could be enough to secure a win. KHP definitely has less fuel than the pair of them.
Yeah, I've been watching the live timing here. I just want to point out the top 3 have pulled away to like a little over about a second and a half, a little more than the second and a half on the 4th place 100B. So these 3 could be the deciding factor on when the next pit cycle starts, if it does start. Yeah, just wanted to pop in with that.
Thanks, Trace. Yeah, Hunter's been quick, but just not quite as quick as the 18, who was really able to bridge the gap between these two groups of cars. The 77 and the 02 are in no man's land. Then it's the rest of these guys battling, the 22, the 47, the 95, the 55, the 2, and of course Chase the Cody's in here. DNP now starting to put pressure on Priya McShane. And I think she's putting the hammer down now because the 41 has held off DNP for a couple of laps. But of course, we're going to have lap traffic to deal with pretty soon.
Well, the beef between Carter Friesen and Pan has just upped a notch. They're now yelling at each other. Pan has returned to the track and has been yelling at Carter over the radio. So, yeah, let's see how long that lasts until the DTS officials turn off his radio.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if you're even allowed to contact drivers that aren't your teammates.
There's going to have to be some sort of discussion with Pan's behavior after this event, that's for sure. Carter Friesen is still 2 laps down, but David Alvarez is the next car behind him, and that could get interesting. They've already run into each other at least a couple times so far today. Back out front, Priya McShane still holding off the 18 of DNP and still staying within drafting distance of KHP01. And DS Gaming has come into the pits, as has the 60 of Savage Toy Show. So they're going to try and cut this final run in half. They know they're not going to make it on fuel, and see if maybe they can gain some time on this undercut. So very interesting strategy here from these two teams. They're really doubling down that they definitely can't make it to the end on gas. And if no one else can make it, hey, that could just work out.
Blue flag, blue flag, blue flag.
Oh, thank you, JPCS Boos, for the YouTube subscription. I believe that's how that's pronounced. Maybe it's Baus, but I think Boos sounds better. Thank you. Welcome. And boy, that is cascade. Here we go. That's kicked off a whole bunch of pit stops. The 7, the 2, the 55, they're all coming in. The 9 as well. Pit road is getting busy here. So with a couple drivers who decided to make that early call to get that undercut and split this final run in half, here comes absolutely everybody else. A lot of action there down on pit road, Trace.
Tires, 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 tires. This track eats them. They're going to go 4 tires and fuel. Probably down the board. Might see some people go 2 tires. But this should get us to the end of the race. See what happens.
Next race. It looks like they're all taking 4 tires, but the leaders are still staying out. So this is really, really starting to split the field here. The 22 came in. So Mark Silas is in, as is What Incarnation, Xander M, CodyHGaming, Rollo's in as well. But the top 3 are still staying out, as is the 77, the 02, and the 47. We know they're pretty good on fuel situation. I don't know how much longer KHP can last up here. But it's him, the 42, and the 18 out front, and they're still sticking close together. Pretty much everyone else looks like they're coming in and taking those 4 tires and fuel. And we got some teammates running into each other, perhaps, as NASCAR Lover is trying to get into his pit box. His teammate, Crispy Fried Racer, is trying to get out of his pit box, and a little bit of contact. But it looks like they're going to be okay. Doesn't look like there's...
I don't know if that was unintentional contact either. As we've said, there's been some mixed words between driver and team owner, so that might be a little bit more behind that than just an incidental contact.
Certainly a lot of tension there in the whole DEI organization. And now we've got this problem with slow cars who didn't take tires and fast cars who did take tires. Carter Friesen really, really holding some people up. And these drivers on fresh tires have got to be really aggressive because they can't be losing time. They really can't. So you can see Midlife just getting right past the 02. And the top 3 still staying out on track. We only have 6 cars on the lead lap right now, because there have only been 6 of these lead lap cars who haven't pitted yet. They're all going to try and make it to the end, I think. But if they don't, it's really, really going to cost them. So, KHP01, Priya McShane, DNP10, Hunter B to AFK Master, and Janza. They are the only lead lap cars on track right now. I don't believe KHP, he hasn't pitted 3 times. And I don't think he stayed out in the very first caution, but I may have to fact check myself because he might be able to make it to the end. In fact, I will check myself just to be sure here, because this could be some interesting strategy at work, because I don't know if KHP can make it to the end or not. If he stayed out in the first caution, then yes. But otherwise, I don't believe so. Oh, he did stay out. So he was the 4th car. So KHP is on the same fuel strategy as Priya McShane and DNP10. So those 3, along with the 77, who is currently holding up a ton of cars, the 02 and the 47, they're all on the same strategy. So this is going to be really interesting as some of these drivers are going to try and unlap themselves. Be careful, please. As these slow cars are moving up the track, coming out of the corners, they got faster cars trying to get around the outside. And these guys definitely want to be on the lead lap, especially if we have a caution. And just judging by this pack, it might happen pretty soon. So KHP, Priya McShane, DNP10, they're all trying to make it to the end. And as far as the drivers who have pitted go, Rusty Broussard is in the lead. He's got Midlife behind him. So on track, they're sitting 7th and 8th, 1 lap down. But these are the first of the cars on the fresh tires. So he's trying to get around the outside of Priya McShane, who's going to close the door here. And this benefits them. They're going to try and hold up these leaders as much as possible and to keep them from unlapping themselves. Or I shouldn't say leaders. The leaders of the cars who've pitted. This is starting to get really confusing. But Midlife, who went around the bottom of KHP, ends up getting past Rusty Broussard, who tried to go around the outside of KHP, but it looks like he'll have a better run out of the corner. So back onto the lead lap, the 55 and the 83. And DNP 10 really got caught up in that madness and lost a lot of time to the 41 and the 8, but here comes another big group of cars on either side of the 18. Oh boy. Now trying to get around the 41 of Priya McShane. Maybe a little bit of contact there. Luke Rainey getting very aggressive alongside the 22. So KHP01 in the 8 is still your leader, but here come all these lap cars on fresh tires. And this is looking like a madhouse here at Auto Club. I've never seen racing quite like this. So Chase the Coyote does get back on a lead lap, and we're coming close to 10 to go here. Things are really going to start heating up. The 18 of DNP is back close behind Priya McShane and the 41. Who? Oh, the leader just got turned! The 8 just got turned, and they're wrecking into CodyHGaming, and that's definitely going to be a caution. Lap 88 of 100, and it has all gone south for KHP01, and I think that was off the nose of his teammate. I think that was DEI teammates getting into each other, and now it's just about who managed to stay on the lead lap through the pit cycle. Oh boy, let's take a look and see what happened. There's always something in the Sim series. There's always something. It's again coming out of turn 4. You've got 3 DEI cars here, all on different laps. And they're actually all on different laps. KHP's in 1st, Mark Silas is in 12th, and NASCAR Lover's in 32nd, and they all just converge coming out of the corner, and KHP slides up. Mark Silas was already there. Oh boy, and they go hard into the wall, and then gets collected by CodyHGaming. KHP's entire race has just come apart from the lead. And that just put Priya McShane into 1st place. So we're gonna have to get eyes on the flag stand here and figure out when exactly this caution came out and who was able to stay on the lead lap. So the caution comes out right here, which means the 8 was the leader. But 2nd place would have been Priya. So Mark Silas ends up going a lap down because of it. Brad Flynn manages to stay on the lead lap. And now we're going to have, I think, everyone who's on the lead lap come into the pits. Oh boy. So the 41 and the 22 are going to come in. The 55, the 00, the 77, they're all coming in. So everyone who stayed out definitely coming in. So Rusty Broussard is staying out, and I think he's going to take over the lead of the race. I know there's a lot to unpack here. And there are a lot of lapped cars stuck behind the pace van and in front of leaders. So if you're in for a hectic restart with less than 10 laps to go, you have come to the right place. Rusty Broussard is your leader. Xander M is in 2nd. One Incarnation is somehow up into 3rd. Then it's Luke Rainey. You've got the lap car of the 53. Then it's Chase the Coyote. And then you've got some more lap cars in the form of the 3 and the 97. Then it's Brad Flynn. But now, on fresher tires, the number 41 of Priya McShane, the 18 of DNP, Hunter B, and Midlife, and to AFK Master, and Janza. And they've all got fresher rubber by about 15 or so laps on everybody else. And they're only going to have a few laps to work their way up past the leaders who are trying to work their way up past the slow lap traffic. This is going to be absolute insanity. And we're going to have to just stay on top of it. Dracone asks, what happened to the 83? He's currently sitting in 10th place. So he came in and pitted, and he's got fresh tires. So again, we're going to look at the picture here. These cars are all lapped cars. Your leader is the Napa number 55. So first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, they're all pretty close together. And then sixth is Brad Flynn. And then it's Priya in the 41, the first of these cars on the fresh tires. She's sitting down in 7th. So 7th through to 13th all have fresh rubber, and they're going to be on the charge. Oh boy. Oh boy. Also, thank you Spitfire for pointing out Julio Cesar is in 20th place. So somehow that 42 has worked his way up into the top half of the field. Again, this is a car that has never finished in the top half of any field ever in his entire career, spanning, I believe this is his 15th race. Trying to just get a decent finish. His career on the line. So, lights are out on the pace van, and we are going to be going with 9 laps to go. This is anybody's game. The 55 of Rusty Broussard, he's got to hold off the 01 and the 95, and then the 2, the 7, and the 16 as well. They're going to be trying to hold off these cars on the fresh tires. This could be one of the greatest restarts we've ever had in the Sim series. And we're going to have cars all over the place. So hang tight, and you might want to buckle yourselves in, even if you're at home on your couch, because this is going to be insanity. So, with 9 to go, the field will restart single file, and all bets are off. I like the way Spitfire puts it. This is Auto Club Endgame right here. It's just a culmination of so many different things coming together. Thank you, Flynn. In DTSS tradition, welcome to the madhouse. This is going to be one hell of a dash to the end. So, the field will pace out of turn number 4, and they're going to have 8 laps to go here at Auto Club. Green flag in the air. The 55 is your leader, but we're going to have to watch these cars and the fresh tires. Here they come around the outside. Priya McShane already looking to try and get past some of this lap traffic. The 6 of McSpookboy already going to the bottom of the leaders, but it looks like he's going to stay well out of the way. Luke Rain to the inside of What Incarnation, but he's going to be on the outside of McSpookboy. This is a battle here for 3rd place. And the 55 and the 01 going to stay in line for now, as is What Incarnation. And Luke Rainey's going to drop back in line as well. So the 55, the 01, the 95, they're all at the front. But we've got lappers going 3 wide. Don't wreck each other, please. This is not the kind of chaos we need. Luke Rainey still going to the inside. Xander M takes a look to the inside of Rusty Broussard. The 55 then goes way down the track. He's got to start getting around this lap traffic. Deep in the field, Priya McShane definitely got held up and has lost a lot of ground, and I think DNP is now the first car on those fresh tires. So not a great restart at all for Priya McShane, and her chances at the win have really, really been pulled away from her. Rusty Broussard able to work past this lap traffic. First the 57 of Michael Deitch, now it's the 92 of Ryan Johnston in the way. Xander M running way down the track through turn 4, and he got a good run out of the corner. Luke Rainey got past What Incarnation for 3rd place, but they're both held up behind some lap cars, and the 55 is going to try and hang around the outside here with Julio Cesar. See if Xander M can make an impact here through turns 1 and 2. Here he goes to the inside for the lead of the race. Xander M way down the track and unable to stick to the inside of Rusty Broussard, but he'll be able to get back in line and get some more draft. Meanwhile, let's go back. The 18 of DNP10, the first of these cars in the fresh tires. He's got to AFK Master right behind him. They're sitting 6th and 7th, but a lot of lap traffic between them and the leaders. 55 of Rusty Broussard still trying to get around the slow 42 of Julio Cesar. Moves up the track, gets held up a little bit. Here comes Xander M. He's got a good run down the front stretch. The 0-1 just barely pips the 55 for the lead, and that for the first time today, Xander M's going to lead a lap, and he's going to get past Julio Cesar pretty easily. So Xander M to the lead, and they have 5 laps to go here at Auto Club. He's past the 42 for now. Rusty Broussard still being held up. That's allowing the 2 and the 95 to catch up. Meanwhile, DNP 10 is still having trouble getting past this lap traffic, even on those fresh tires. Priya McShane getting very aggressive to the inside of Hunter B. These guys are battling for position, and this is going to get really dicey. Priya sliding way up the track, getting up to the 53. And there's still Xander M. He's got a couple tenths over Rusty now, but he is deep in traffic, stuck behind the 25 of Jake 24, as well as the 22, the 91. This is a big pack of cars. They have 4 laps to go, and the 55 of Rusty Broussard is closing in, as is the 2, the 95, and then the fresh tires, the 18, the 02, the 41. Here they are on the move through turns 3 and 4. Xander M still stuck behind the 25. He's going to be looking to the inside, coming out of turn 4, trying to make it stick. He's going 3 wide. The 55's going 3 wide. And Priya McShane has put the other 2 cars with fresh tires 3 wide. She's going to try and get to the inside of the 95 and the 2 through turns 1 and 2. Priya is on a charge. She just passed 4 cars in the span of around 10 seconds, and the 41 is into 3rd place. They've got 3 laps to go here. Xander M leads. Rusty Broussard close behind. Priya McShane has those fresh tires and is on the charge yet again. Xander still leads as they come through turns 3 and 4, trying to get past Crispy Fried Racer. Maybe the 91 gets out of the way. Priya McShane's working the middle, gets around the outside of the 92 and the inside of the 22. 2 to go. The top 3 just bumper to bumper coming through the front straightaway. The 55 looking right on the inside of Xander M. Priya McShane trying to get a run as they come out of turn 2, trying to get clear of this lap traffic and maybe get a good run to the finish. And there's a wreck. The 22 goes around. And if that's a caution, that's going to be the end of the race. So these guys are going to have to race it to the end. And I think there's going to be yellow on the track. And this, yes, they're racing it to the line. Priya McShane on the bottom gets a big run out of turn 4. Priya gets it to the inside of Xander M, coming to the white flag, and that's going to be the caution to end the race. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. Priya McShane just stole that win. It looked like it was all over. Oh my goodness. Priya wins it. Coming to the flag with a big wreck on the backstretch, and they're going to pace it around one more time, and that 41's going to go to victory lane, but it is not going to be a popular one today. I'm at a loss for words. The Sim series always delivers. Always delivers. My goodness. That was probably one of the most amazingly aggressive but also perfect drives I have ever seen. Those last couple of laps, Priya McShane went 3 wide and passed 4 cars in the span of around 10 seconds.
The guy who designed this first corner should be taken in a dark room and beat about the head.
I gotta catch up here. My God. Okay, hold on. Nitro XP cheered 2 bits. That was a while ago. I'm sorry. I'm still getting there, but I appreciate it. K-Red9 with the follow. And Wiganonymous, you're the Travis guy with the Twitch follow. Welcome to this chaos. I cannot believe what we just witnessed today. So the race is completed under caution. But was still one of the greatest finishes we have ever seen. And next week is Bristol, and the week after that is Talladega. Wow.
What?
Ford Frost also with a
happening?
Twitch follow. Trace, what do you even say after a race like that? There's no English words for this. What do you say?
There's no words in any language for what just happened.
Oh my goodness! And we got 41 viewers on YouTube. It's perfect, isn't it? Priya McShane
What?
to victory lane as the sun sets here. Wow. We got to unpack this at least a little bit, because this might be one of the craziest runs I have ever seen. I'd like to point out here, we're on lap number 97 of what ended up being 99 laps. So with 2.5 laps to go, Priya McShane is in 7th place. In 2.5 laps, she went from 7th to 1st to win it. Coming down the back straightaway, gets a really good run out of turn 2. Let's just ride just behind Priya, just to watch this, all right? They come into turn 3 and 4, and you can already see the field starts to spread out. Carnation goes to the inside of Luke Rainey. AFK Master goes to the inside of DNP. And then Priya McShane just goes under all of them. And you've got 4 cars to the outside of her, who all she's racing for position. Gets a great send through turns 1 and 2. John Felber, another
John
$4.
Felber super chatted $1 for the 41. Congrats. Great racing.
Thanks, John. I really appreciate it. You've been very, very generous today. Thank you so much. And I think Priya will be very happy with your 4.1 for the 41. Thank you. And look at this. I mean, she just gets such a great run out of the corner. We know she's got those fresh tires, but so does the 02 and the 18. They've got fresh tires too. And she passes them all, hams them up against the wall on the straightaway, gets a great entry through 1 and 2, gets past all these lap cars, then makes her way up the middle, goes around the outside of Ryan Johnston, wastes absolutely no time, squeezes between the 92 and the 22, and at this point, this was 2 to go, but it ends up being the final lap because Mark Silas, who's caught up in another accident, he's stuck up top here and just comes down a little bit off the wall. Savage Toy Show wasn't ready for it and gets squeezed into the 18 of DNP 10. So at this point, the caution's out and they've got to race it back to the line. Priya McShane is not only 3rd, but there's a lapped car between her and the leaders. And as the 22 spins on the back straightaway, the caution comes out, they're racing it back to the line, and Priya just sends it in through turns 3 and 4 with those new tires, sticks it, gets past Xander M, gets a great run out of the final corner, and clears him coming to the line. I can't believe it. An anonymous cheer has used 10 anonymous bits. I appreciate it. Thank you for the very, very anonymous cheer. What is that? What is anonymous cheer?
I've never seen that before.
It has its own little thing. What?
I know. I've never seen that before.
Oh, you know what it is?
No.
When you cheer,
I don't.
There's like a cheer anonymously button. So it puts them out with anonymous cheer account.
Huh.
So someone anonymously cheered 10 bits, and I appreciate it. Thank you. So Priya ends up winning the race, and let's just take a look at the official standings. I'm gonna export this before I lose my mind. 3rd of a second between Priya and Xander M. Rusty Broussard only ends up 3rd place. DNP 10 finishes 4th to AFK Masters, somehow works out a top 5 through all of that. One Incarnation 6th, Luke Rainey 7th, Janza finished 8th with a destroyed front end. Hell of a race for that 47 team. Then it's Hunter B and Brad Flynn chase the Coyote Falls all the way down to 11th out of Midlife KHP. CodyHGaming ends up 14th and Ben Pye 15th. Then everyone else was at least a lap down, plus we have a long list of retirements, courtesy, of course, of Priya McShane and whatever incident, the massive accident early on. I'm going to go ahead and save this replay as well, because it deserves it. It really does. that wreck at the start, and there was there were 3 or 4 different strategies going on at the same time. And to get that late race restart with all these different strategies coming together, like literally on the final lap with a wreck, that was the most Sim Series race I've ever seen.
Yeah, I still cannot form English words.
I just can't believe what we just witnessed. Just every week it gets better. Like, just every single week it gets better. Oh my gosh. So, it delivers. The Sim series delivers, no matter what. We're going to go ahead and pop open the point standings just so you can get a look at how everything is. Let me get all my stuff sorted out so you can see the things as I see them. Should be interesting. All right, so point standings. After 7 races, Chase the Coyote holds on to that points lead ahead of Luke Rainey. Priya McShane jumps all the way up into 3rd place. Rusty Broussard moves up into 4th, and Hunter B in 5th. So pretty good run here. Drive-Thru Racing Ventures sitting 1st and 5th in the points. KHPO1 is sitting in 6th. Brad Flynn, Richard Herman, Xander M, Ben Pye, Midlife Pure, Jake, DS Gaming, Savage Toy Show. Cody moves all the way up to 16th. That is NASCAR Fireball and What Incarnation, who's finally climbing his way back up after a not great start of the season. He's in 18th ahead of Ryan Johnston and Janza in that uncharted number 47 who missed the Richmond race, is sitting 20th in points. A fantastic run from him so far this season. Then it's Hello I'm You, DNP, Mark Silas, Anderson, Reed, NASCAR Lover 201, Carter Friesen, who also missed a start. He's sitting up in 26th. Then it's Mech, Goky, Michael Deitch, who really could have had a great run of points here today. But it's just been so unfortunate for Pantallica Motorsports. That whole team today. Fantastic pre-qualifying, and it just went downhill from there. Asteroid Strike 9 is in 30th. Then it's F1 Fan, Trace Rider, AFK Master, Spookboy, Rollo. You just got a collection of these no-quarter motorsport cars. Make Spookboy want a race, and he's 34th in points. Which
That's just a testament to how awful the luck for that team is.
Yeah, I mean, 32nd, 34th, and 35th.
Checkers or wreckers. That's, I guess, their motto.
And these are in chartered cars. They're getting beat by F1 Fan. They're getting beat by Carter Friesen. They're getting beat by Janza. And they're just ahead of Julio Cesar, who's down in 36th. Ahead of Emmett
They're also
Lashbrook.
getting literally beat on the track by cars wrecking, too. So
They ran into each other again today. VGO3 is down to 39th. John Jones is down to 40th. And then further down the order, that was the correct page. Crispy Fried Racer up to 41st. Then it's JR, Austin Ripp. David Alvarez has moved his way up into 44th. Ahead of David Dawn and the rest of the part-time drivers. So, once again, the Sim Series delivers. What a fantastic show. And if you're new to this, let me just tell you, it has not stopped getting better week after week after week. So definitely be around next week for when we go to Bristol. Should be pretty chaotic. Also, the Amateur League is going to run 1 hour before that at 4 p.m. Eastern. And they're going to the UK for a little bit of road course action. So for Trace Rider in the pits and Jacob Hitz in the hot dog stand, I'm Drive-Thru. And thank you so much for tuning into the Sim Series. I do appreciate all the viewers, all the super chatters, all the bits, all the... you guys are great. And you keep this series awesome. And it's just going to keep getting better. So, good night, and I will see you next Tuesday.